Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Cool Sports Chat episode 51. Today we are going to be talking the conference championship games as well as giving our prediction for the Super Bowl between Kansas City and Philadelphia, a rematch of just a few years ago. So back to back rematches for Kansas City. Will it turn out any different than last year's? We'll find out. But it looks like today we got Bob, we got Scott, and we got Brendan. How you guys doing today?
Real good, real good.
I mean, I know Brendan's doing terrible. Look at him with that Eagles hat over there. Like
I was doing terrible on Friday. That hurt.
on Friday, what happened Friday?
Fell down a ladder.
Oh shit! Oh,
Can't be doing that,
Landed
Brendan.
on metal.
that hurt. Oh, oh.
Well, you doing better at least today?
Yeah, the bruise is almost gone.
Well, yeah. We'll talk about the conference championship and the big game, obviously, in New Orleans here at the what is it called now? It was the Superdome. I don't even know what it's called
I
anymore.
think it's Caesar.
I was going to say, I thought it was Caesars.
Yeah, Caesar's got naming rights.
Well, see, now we know. Let's see. So let's start with the NFC. It was the early game. It was Philadelphia hosting the Commanders. Brendan, obviously this is your Philadelphia Eagles. Why don't you walk us through your thoughts with the conference championship?
I was happy that it went the way it did. I was a little worried just because, like, the other two games were a little bit of a fight, and Washington seemed to be on a roll. But those were pretty early feelings. They were put to bed pretty early, too. After I didn't think it was going to be that crazy. Getting more rushing touchdowns than the whole team does a whole year in one game. They got 7 when Dallas had 6 all year. I thought that was kind of crazy. It was good to see A.J. Brown get more than just 10 yards.
Yeah, I think there was this statistic that A.J. Brown has more Super Bowl appearances than Traylon Burks, who was supposed to replace him, has touchdown receptions.
Kenny Pickett has spent more time playing in a conference championship game than the Steelers have in the last, 14 years? So...
Well, speaking of Kenny Pickett, he was one of the reasons why I picked Philadelphia to win this game.
Yeah.
Mainly because Philadelphia kind of dog walked the Commanders in the first game they played. The Commanders had some late scores and garbage time that kind of made it look close. But the Commanders also almost lost to Kenny Pickett the second time. It was close. So I figured with a healthy, Hurts playing, and obviously first stringers on the defense of Philadelphia compared to the Lions, who were down to second and third. I just figured the Eagles were going to win. Now, to the extent that they won, I don't know if I predicted that, but I did see them at least beating the Commanders, who had a Cinderella storybook year, and still kudos to them for going as far as they did with their new roster, new quarterback, new coach. It's admirable, and obviously they'll keep. Yeah, new owner. Old owner's kind of mad. He was probably a pro Philadelphia fan this week. But yeah, no, I will say, if they keep building how they have been, I think they'll be contending for a while. Scott, what were your thoughts with Philadelphia's win?
Yeah, they kind of. Well, it's easy when Saquon just kind of runs away from everybody right at the beginning. It's kind of like. As soon as right after that run was over, I thought, okay, well, that's going to be pretty much it, and that's what it ended up being. Washington, you knew Washington wasn't going to kind of go under a rock and hide after like that. So they're going to fight off. They did great coming back, doing the best they could, but it was just too much to do for the Commanders, and uh, that's kind of how I kind of wondering if Philadelphia is really going to be able to repeat it coming up. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, I figure that right after Saquon ran away right at the beginning, I thought, okay, that's going to be it, and ended up being that way.
Bobby, what about you? What did you think of the NFC Championship game?
I think Philadelphia ran away with it quick. After Saquon hit those 2 touchdowns, that was pretty much it. Washington looked good though for a while. Then they just kind of, Philadelphia ran away with it.
Yeah. No, and like you guys have said, Philadelphia came out hot. They've been running, obviously, the hot hand with Barkley. So good on them. Once he wasn't able to break the record, which I still think is silly, they pretty much have to win it now.
Yep.
They didn't let him have that, so they got to try to beat Kansas City now. So at least I was happy for him. He got to the Super Bowl at least this year. Something good.
He'll break Trill Davis's record for most yards season and playoffs combined.
Maybe. I mean, he still has
He's only 30 away
from what because he's third right now, and Trill have his first
that was
and
before,
second.
That was before Sunday's game. Then he put 118 up. He's only 30 yards away from the record.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see. We'll
Got
see
that.
Yeah, he has a chance. He also has a chance. Sirianni wants to make sure he doesn't get that record. He'll just sit him for the Super Bowl. Hey, if anything, Sirianni saved his job. After last year,
Yeah.
obviously the collapse they had, and then this year started to kind of look like it was going to be a rough year. He was able to get it done. They got to the Super Bowl, so I'd say he's safe for a little bit. I don't know if Brendan's happy about that, but he's happy at least he can't. Well, he shouldn't lose both his coordinators this year. So
I don't know. I still feel Vic Fangio might retire.
I think if they were to win it, he'd stick around. He's not super old. I think you have PTSD from the last time they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, sounds like we're going to lose more or Kellen to New Orleans, so
right. It's possible. I know that's kind of a leading rumors. They're waiting out for him, which at this point, who knows? We'll talk about coaching in a second, but yeah, they got to be waiting for somebody. Now on the other end, AFC Championship, we had Kansas City hosting the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, I was going pro Buffalo because of Josh Allen playing for the University of Wyoming. But, we're living in a time where Patrick Mahomes is being magical and being able to get to as many Super Bowls as he has. Perhaps not everyone's cup of tea. Obviously, Kansas City fans are happy. I will say Bronco fans are very unhappy. But I got to remind the Bronco fans, Kansas City had to sit through 5 Super Bowls with John Elway. So it's only fair now Denver fans have to sit through 5 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. So it kind of comes full circle.
Kansas City cheated, though.
No. Bobby, that's what
had a first down. That one drive, and Kansas City told them no.
Well, guess what? Buffalo defense could have stopped them. Buffalo's defense couldn't stop them.
Yep.
They made Kansas City look like the Kansas City from like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
There was some pretty glaring defensive issues with Buffalo.
Yeah.
One of which is Damar Hamlin on multiple plays where instead of making a wrap-up tackle, he was kind of backing off and like trying to punch the ball out, and then Mahomes would run for like 10 or 15 yards. So I would say if you're Buffalo, obviously you're close. Your offense looked much better this year. Maybe just build a little bit on the defensive side. And Kansas City looked weaker this year than they have in the past. So I think a couple of these teams, Buffalo, Baltimore, definitely have a shot to take them take them down next year. Scott, what are your thoughts with the AFC Championship?
Well, it was a pretty good battle between two very similar teams. Kansas City being at home obviously was a big help for them. Um, Came out the way I kind of figured it would be. It'd be a tussle. And Kansas City came out on top for this particular game. If the game was in Buffalo, and then saying that the weather would have been similar, you never know, never sure about the weather in Buffalo. But
Yeah.
if the environments had been the same, only at Buffalo, I would have said maybe Buffalo would have pulled out that game. But it was Kansas City, and so now we'll see.
Brendan, what were your thoughts with the AFC game?
I was a little worried that it was going to be a blowout at first, just because of how the Chiefs were able to run it down the field so fast, and they made it just look effortlessly. I was worried that the Bills were too much in their own head and not fully there. I was happy that it turned out to actually be a good game and competitive. I don't know if Josh Allen really got that first down or not. I couldn't really tell. So I think people are just trying to find something to nitpick since they can't blame the refs. So
Yeah. See, a lot of people are going off the yellow line, which isn't actually where the line of scrimmage is. It's kind of an estimate. The few shots I saw with the marker on the sideline,
Yep.
it's hard to tell. There's nothing definitively to me. And so had it been called a first down, I don't think they would have overturned it.
exactly.
And vice versa.
Right.
I just don't think there's enough there. And like Brendan said, I think sometimes people, when teams are doing really good, they just want to try to blame the refs. We saw it with the Patriots. We've seen it with the Steelers. We've seen it with everyone that has a dynasty at some point. People think the refs are on their side. But if the refs were on the side, we'd see the Vikings and the Titans in the Super Bowl this year. Because since 22, they are the two teams that the refs have called the most penalties on opposing sides. The Chiefs are actually the fourth lowest. So only the 49ers, Patriots, and of course Bears are dead last because Bears just can't do good at anything. So except for hire a coach, hopefully. Bobby, what were your thoughts, AFC Championship?
I think, Buffalo did play a good game, but I think, it's going to be. There was a lot of nitpicking. I think he did get that first down, but you can't tell where the cameras are and stuff, kind of. But there was the one turnover Buffalo think I had because the guy was on the ground and he had the ball in his hand when he was going down. They were both fighting for it. I think the Buffalo guy had it.
Well, the Allen one they gave back to him, and that one definitely could have been a turnover for Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, for all the people saying the refs gave it to Kansas City, they could have easily handed over there. Yeah, my biggest takeaway really was the Bills can be the team to beat the Chiefs. I think they just need to shore up the defense, mainly in the secondary, because that's where a lot of these quarterback sneaks were going. I mean, the cornerbacks obviously and the safeties are back with the receivers, and Mahomes was looking like Michael Vick, and he's good, but he's not Michael Vick running around good.
No.
Like Michael Vick was another level, and a lot of it was just like poor tackling. And I don't know, some of the players who were just not wanting to risk injury, but when you're in the AFC Championship, you got to try to hammer it down. So if anything, I think Bills can do it next year, but just got to shore up some stuff.
So what do you think about Von? What do you think? What do you think Von will do? I hope Von kind of comes home and retires.
I don't think so. I don't think Sean Payton will bring him back.
He said he wanted to. He said his home was still here.
Well, he might sign like a day contract to retire, but I think
Yeah, the Broncos.
he'll finish his career probably with Buffalo. He wants to bring them a championship, so
Then retire a Bronco probably.
Well, we figured out too the color schemes for the jerseys. Brennan, what were the colors this year going to be?
the same as they were a few years ago. Uh, Chiefs are going to wear white, and the home team, the Eagles, are going to be green. So,
Which, an interesting fact, the Eagles have only ever worn green in the Super Bowl. Against the Raiders, the two Patriots, and then the Chiefs. So, interesting there. The Chiefs have only worn white twice out of their many appearances. First one was Super Bowl I, which they lost, and then the second time, obviously, was against the Eagles. Looks like the champ is here.
What's going on, guys?
Grayson, what were your thoughts with the NFC Championship with the Eagles and the Commanders?
I thought Philadelphia definitely showed up on this game. It was it started off a little wobbly, but just Saquon Barkley is Saquon Barkley, and he pretty much punched Washington in the mouth as hard as he possibly could. So I will say, even though he got deprived of the record this season, there's shown to be a good reason why they kind of left him in their back pocket in this game for sure. So.
And what about the AFC Championship?
Wow. It's I don't know how much more obvious the refs can make it that they're Kansas City fans. I won't get too much into it, but all I can say is I wonder what the Kansas City Chiefs do with their B squad cheerleaders with these refs, because good Lord, it looks like it's paying off.
I mean, we were just talking about a play that could have easily been given to Kansas City, but they gave it to Buffalo.
I was surprised by that. I was like, huh. They were probably told to give them at least one call to make it seem like they were unbiased. It was, yeah. It's sad to see Kansas City going back. It's, I don't think anybody wants to see this again, but here we are for another one in the books. So.
Hey, don't rile up the Bronco fans. They're already riled up down here, so
we'll keep it going.
And then we talked about the Super Bowl color jersey matchup with the Eagles again wearing green like they always do in the Super Bowl. Chiefs wearing white. So just like the last time they played. Again, the Chiefs' last two appearances in the Super Bowl have been just rematches of a few years ago. This one I don't feel as upset with as the 49er one, because the 49er one I knew what was going to happen. 49ers were going to get a 10-point lead. They were going to collapse. Chiefs were going to win. It's going to be low scoring, kind of boring. That's what it turned out to be. This one, seeing how both teams played, I feel like it can be higher scoring. I know how my gut wants me to pick it. We'll get to that in a minute. I went against my gut with the Kansas City one already, so can't keep going against my gut. We were also going to talk some Super Bowl kind of starting records. Let me pull that up. So all time, obviously Brady leads the AFC with 9 starts for the AFC side in the Super Bowl. He also has one on the NFC side. I think he's either the only one or two players who have that. The only other players to have 4 or more, Peyton Manning is the most recent to hit that 4th mark. Jim Kelly, Terry Bradshaw, and then there's only 2 right below Tom Brady, 2 with 5, and that's Patrick Mahomes and John Elway, both with 5. So maybe Patrick Mahomes was just here to be the equalizer to the John Elway ones. Now on the NFC side, there's a lot more starting quarterbacks. There's a lot more turnover in the teams, especially in the last few years. No quarterback has started more than 4 Super Bowls in the NFC side. And right now, the person leading that is Roger Staubach, who got to 4 first. Joe Montana's also with 4, but he came second. Then there's only 2 or 3 with, 3 with 3. The most recent was Kurt Warner with 3, 2 with St. Louis, 1 with Arizona, Troy Aikman, and then Fran Tarkenton. He has the 3rd most appearances as a NFC quarterback. And then, of course, you got Bart Starr, Joe Theismann, Brett Favre, Eli Manning, Russell Wilson, and now joining them this year with 2, Jalen Hurts, as one of only few quarterbacks. Does that surprise anyone, Scott, that maybe the AFC has less quarterbacks starting than the NFC?
Yeah, no, I think as you kind of said, there seems to be a lot more turnover for whatever reason for quarterbacks and things like that. Um, and so, yeah, not surprising for anything like that. As you're going through that list, I was sitting there trying to remember myself because I'm not looking at the list you're looking at, but trying to remember that. And of course, I kept thinking of I guess I'm showing my age. I was thinking of Fran Tarkenton, and I remember those the couple of Super Bowls he got himself into, and those were pretty good, mighty fine Minnesota Viking teams that Fran was on. That's for sure. Those are good teams.
Right, the purple people eaters. Looks like we got Sandra here saying, I'm going with Philly. I sure hope they win. I think Brendan would agree. He's wearing his Eagles stuff today. He's quite happy they're back. Yeah, looking at the AFC too, it's interesting. After Peyton Manning, who do you think has the most? Now there's 2 with 3 after Peyton Manning, but who do you think would come next, Scott?
Let's see, on the NFC side
AFC
or AFC side. Running through my history book in my mind. 3. Let's see. We're talking. Well, you mentioned Montana.
We'll say he played in a very sunny location.
Very sunny location. Well, I know that got to be Warner. I guess Warner would be one of them. You mentioned Warner.
We'll say Ace Ventura. There's a movie based around this team.
Oh, well, I guess you're talking about Dan Marino.
No, Dan Marino only has 1, but who came before him?
Who came before Marino?
Bobby should know. His son played for the Denver Broncos.
Oh, well, no, you got me now. You got me now.
So it's Bob Greasy.
Well, Bob Greasy, okay.
Yeah, Bob Greasy has 3, and then Big Ben with 3 as well. Only won 2 of those.
Forgot about Ben. Yep, forgot about Ben. So,
and then the only other 2 with multiple appearances in the AFC were Lynn Dawson for the Chiefs in Super Bowls, 1 and 4, and then Jim Plunkett with the Raiders teams, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we got a whole host of people. I mean, we got like Daryl LaMonica, Joe Namath, Johnny Unitas, Ken Stabler, Craig Morton, Ken Anderson, David Woodley. I mean, there's a name. Dan Marino, Tony Eason, who got just destroyed in that Super Bowl. Boomer Esiason, Stan Humphries, another one who got destroyed by that one. Neil O'Donnell, Drew Bledsoe, Steve McNair, Trent Dilfer, Rich Gannon, Joe Flacco, and the most recent, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That's the AFC side. Now the NFC side's a whole nother story. These are all just one appearances. We got Earl Morrell, Joe Cap, Craig Morton, Billy Kilmer, Vince
Billy.
Ferragamo,
Vince
probably,
Ferragamo.
Ron Jaworski, Jaws, Jim McMahon, Phil Simms, Doug Williams, Jeff Hostetler, Mark Rippon, Steve Young, Chris Chandler, Kerry Collins, Barad Johnson, Jake Delhomme, Donovan McNabb, Matt Hasselbeck, Rex Grossman. I mean, there's a name you wouldn't expect, but the Bears defense carried him. And yeah, he lost that one. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Colin Kaepernick, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Nick Foles, Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, and Brock Purdy.
I forgot Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl.
Right. The
Yeah.
49ers were so good. They only had 2 quarterbacks through their first 5, and then they've had 3 in their last 3 who are all 0-3 now combined.
Well, man, I'm honestly more surprised with just the spread that the NFC has, because that's like a wide variety, whereas the AFC was definitely more narrow in that list for sure. Which, I mean, doesn't surprise me, but it is surprising at the same time. So,
Yeah, I
He
will.
just names that only appeared once. He didn't even name the ones that appeared multiple. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like the NFC, there's a lot more names. I think you could go up to people on the street and they would have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
true.
The AFC, I mean, a lot of your big dynasties were on the AFC side, be it the Steelers, obviously of the 70s. Got Tom Brady and the Patriots, John Elway, took many teams there. Pat Mahomes now, Jim Kelly and those Bills who made 4 straight, unfortunately were unable. And then Peyton Manning, maybe not any dynasties, but he was able to lead 2 teams there twice. And then Bob Greasy, I guess, yeah, the Dolphins mini dynasty there with 2. Big Ben, Rodgers stopped him from getting his 3rd. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The AFC side definitely has the names I think people recognize as like the classic quarterback versus the NFC. And maybe that's just the turnover in the NFC. I mean, a lot of these teams don't go back. I know when Seattle was going back for that second time, it kind of felt like, hey, if they don't win it this time, it's going to be a while. And obviously it has, because they haven't even made it back to the NFC Championship since then. So
Actually, happened to cross paths with Mark Rippon off on a golf course about, well, let's see, a little over a month ago, and he looks great. Well, he looks like he could easily put the pads on and throw for a good 200-300 yards easily. Of course, at his age now, I don't think he'd be able to do it, but he might have second thoughts on that. But he looks great, personally. Happen to see him and talk to him, and he's a great guy. Very good guy to just happen to meet.
no, it's always good when you can run into a player and they're just like really down to earth and nice to talk to and stuff. I forget who it was. Yeah, said she met somebody on a airplane, and they were just so nice. And then she found out I was some like NFL player. Talked the whole way there.
Yeah, Mark Rippon, the same golf tournament that was just happened to be at, and also had the same meeting with Jim McMahon, and he's an awesome person to get to know too. Just as crazy as you kind of remember him from the mid '80s Chicago Bears. Yeah, very good guy to get to meet and get to know, and he's fun to talk to. And he can easily go back to his football days and tell you all sorts of things and certain plays and certain games. He has that memory. It's great to know. It's fun to talk to.
I met Dale Dawkins in Albertsons in Montana. Actually went to school with his sons.
Oh, that's cool.
Well,
That's
Grayson has a new house he's living in now.
Oh, that's nice.
We gotta roll on the booze when we can.
Yeah, no, Jim McMahon though. That's a quarterback that was the right team, right personality. I mean, they're obviously like you put Marino in the offense or like Montana or someone, they do really good, but like McMahon just fit that Bears and fit Ditka and what they were going for. I know they're always ranked like second because the dumb Dolphins had that undefeated season, but you put those two teams like hypothetically against each other, and I think the Bears would have beat them pretty easy. It's too high powered. Now, another big thing about the Super Bowl is the halftime show. Who's performing this year, Grayson? Could you fill us in? Because actually, I don't. I've seen commercials, but I have forgotten.
You don't know.
I have no idea.
It's the one. It's the only K. Kendrick Lamar will be the headliner for the show. I don't know who else they have going on, but just like many other people, that's the only reason I'm showing up to watch the Super Bowl is because that's the only time I'm ever going to be able to afford to watch a Kendrick Lamar concert. So that's the only reason I'll be there is just to see that performance. But other than that, I'm not really going to be there for much else.
Is everyone else looking forward to the halftime show?
No, I want to see which advertisement. Yeah, I'm also in for the Super Bowl ads and just see what's going to be the funniest and craziest and most intricate that it could be for just a 30-second spot. And
Right.
who's willing to spend 30 or a number of millions of dollars for a 30-second television ad? So interested to see about that.
State Farm won't.
State Farm might have a couple.
Sure, they will.
No, they pulled them.
Because of California?
Oh, well.
Well, yeah, insurance. Something that's running into Colorado too is some of these insurance companies just happening to not carry fire insurance, which is something we're friends with people from Florida, where the insurance companies have pulled out of like flood insurance and stuff. So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure insurance will be vastly different in a few years. Just because of I almost went into the insurance business, so I kind of know some of how the inner workings were, and I was not a fan of it, so that's why I obviously didn't go into it. Just kind of terrible things going on with taking advantage. You spend so much money, and you feel like you should get a well.
I mean, hey, love hearing about how bad insurance is, but do you want this to get put to the dark realms of YouTube or
no? Hey! If I
I'm
wanted
just looking out for a brother here.
If I wanted to, I would just say a very simple phrase: the Lafayette Vampire. Oh no, I did it. I did
no,
it.
wait, Dungeons and Dragons.
Not election year. You're fine.
What I was standing for, right?
Oh, you're right. Had we mentioned it last year, we would have got banned. But another big thing with commercials too is usually there's some big movie debut trailers. I know Fantastic Four is going to be one of them. Nothing from DC, who dropped the latest trailer for Superman just kind of out of the blue, which I thought was odd. I guess I just didn't want to spend the money there. Rumor has it maybe we'll see the latest Jurassic. At least I would hope, because it comes out in like 6 months. So hopefully at some point soon we see something other than photo stills. Grayson, any other big movie trailers?
Not that I know of. I know that there is. I mean, nothing that's going to be on the Super Bowl, so I'll save that for probably tomorrow. But nothing I know of too egregiously. I know they're probably going to start showing trailers for stuff like there's a movie coming out called the Black Box, which actually looks not bad. But yeah, in regards to anything major with that front, not really anything that I know of. But let's see what I can find out.
I mean, speaking of movies, though, it looks like Mickey 17 is finally back on the docket. I believe I saw the first trailer for that for Joker Folie à Deux. And it was supposed to come out in like January, and they kept pushing it back for some reason. And I think it debuts at a festival next month, as well as in Vietnam or something. And then we'll get it in March finally. So That one is one that we had originally talked about maybe doing in January because that's when it was going to come out, and then it didn't. So we're like, oh, Wolfman instead, which wasn't terrible. But
Really cool.
there's plenty of other movies I would not watch first.
Fair.
But shall we get to the moment that our watchers are here for? Bobby, Super Bowl, all on the line. You taking AFC, NFC, Kansas City, or Philadelphia?
Philadelphia.
Whoa. All right, so tell us what the score will be, and who you think is going home with the Super Bowl MVP.
It's going to be, let's see, Philadelphia 27, Kansas City 21. I think Saquon Barkley is going to be MVP.
I mean, that would make it worth it. Brendan, we'll flip it to you. I didn't have you go first because I wanted to save some suspense for our first pick. Are you taking Kansas City in this one?
That
No,
long silence sounds like a yes.
I have a feeling that they're going to win because the three-peat sounds way better than the Eagles winning, and I really don't want Kansas City to win, but I do think Philly has a chance, and they are getting Brandon Graham back, so that should be fun. I don't know. Let's go 31-24, and I think Saquon will be.
Okay.
Sounds like somebody wants to be a part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Fine.
Scott, what about you? Who you picking in the Super Bowl?
Well, I was kind of thinking really toward Philadelphia, and then I happened to see you mentioned about jerseys, and I happened to see that the white jerseys of the 58 Super Bowls played so far. It's my dog trying to get Beanball. Of the 58 Super Bowls played so far, the white has won 37 of those 58 games. That's a 63.7% winning percentage for the white jerseys. And so I was thinking, well, maybe lean toward Kansas City and stuff like that. But then my mind won over on, and so I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I think Saquon is going to continue to have a monstrous game, and so obviously he'll be MVP. And I was thinking it's very similar that I'll say 34 to so I'll go 34-27 for the final, with going with Philadelphia to win it.
David, what were your thoughts with the conference championship games this weekend?
I don't know what you're talking about. They haven't taken place yet, so we don't know who's going to win.
I thought Buffalo beat Baltimore. I thought that's what I saw.
Oh, is that what we're talking about? Yeah, no, it was a good game. Good game. No, this is the darkest timeline. These are the worst. This is the worst fucking Super Bowl. I don't even think I'm going to watch it.
I mean, not even for KDOT. That's
not for Fantastic Four.
I just no, because it'll be a teaser and be like, watch the full trailer online. No.
Coming on Monday.
Yeah. I don't care. I supremely hate both of these teams. I have no desire. If I've never cheered before for a terrorist attack to take place, but if it has to happen, this is the event for that to happen.
Somebody just pulls a full Bane mask and everything.
Good.
I mean, there was the map, much like the World Series, where it's just the home cities were rooting rooting for their teams, and then the rest of America was rooting for a meteorite strike.
I mean,
I saw the same.
Something very topical. You know how everybody is cheering for Luigi? How the guy that shot the CEO of United and nobody's really that upset with him because it was for the greater good. It would be the same thing if somebody attacks this event.
We don't want to kill you. We just want to stop the Kansas City from getting number 3.
Like, I don't know.
Turns
I
out
think
it was a long game for the Batman 2. It's actually taking place this year.
I just know I have never really given a lot of credence to the thought that the Super Bowl is rigged until now.
Yeah.
Like that the NFL season is scripted, because this is just awful.
I mean, it's pretty evident that Patrick Mahomes had to hand out quite a few kisses to those refs to get this to work out, because it feels like he's just paying up all day and night, man.
There's so many crazy calls and non-calls that happened in
It was
that game.
wild.
Like, you can go back and it's clearly on tape. You see things that should have been called that weren't, or calls, and it's like, what? Why did that, like? And I get that that's going to happen in any game, but the amount that's happened for them this far, absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, it's wild.
I mean, there's still that Josh Allen fumble that the Chiefs clearly recovered that they gave back to the Bills.
I mean, you can get, as David said, you get one call, but that doesn't really mean anything. It means they were like, we got to give them something so nobody thinks it's fixed. So,
I mean, my big thing with the Bills is their defense just looked crap. And DeMar Hamlin.
Okay,
couldn't
Keegan,
tackle.
we are not a Chiefs apologist channel. If this is the direction you're going in, just get off. Clearly, we don't want to know. All we want to hear is why the Chiefs are bad, why they shouldn't be there, and why there's corruption. If you're going to defend that in any point, stop. We don't want that.
yeah, Keegan, I thought this was a safe space.
Yeah, I thought we had logic here.
Whoa, Grayson. A safe
Look,
space?
A safe space from all positivity and Chiefs talk. That's what I thought. That's why I'm here. And if that's not the case, I'll happily vamoose. All right.
I am working
Keegan,
out
I don't
my
think you understand.
anger with the Bills defense giving up on it.
No, I had to go to Sam's Club this weekend and buy out as much soap as they had for washing myself after the Super Bowl, because I'm going to feel so dirty cheering for the Eagles. Okay. I'm going to be in there scrubbing myself raw over how dirty this feels, that I want those idiot birds to win. That hurts my soul. I am losing a part of myself.
The spirit of Philly just starts taking over. David's just out on his porch, just smoking a pack of Newports, just going to town, being like, "Out of birds, let's go."
I'm going to be throwing snowballs with batteries in them at Santa Claus next. You know, like,
I mean, hey, just don't go around getting videotaped calling women "see you next Tuesdays," because that's apparently just what Eagles fans like to do sometimes.
No. But no, nothing good came of this weekend. It was awful, and it reminds me that we just need to focus more on college football.
Yeah, this is how the NFL is going to be, which it kind of seems like it is. I don't know if I want to talk about this again next year,
especially combined with the coaching choices the Cowboys made. It was just bad. All right, I'm having a really bad few days.
Yeah, how's your defensive coordinator there?
Do you know what? I feel a little better about him taking that over than the new head coach.
I mean, to be fair, the Bears defense did get worse when he left. So,
I mean, Eberflus at least has a record of having an okay defensive mind, like before he was the head coach.
But he's just not a good head coach, you know.
Right.
As far as a coordinator, he can coordinate and he's good at defense. He clearly didn't have enough to be that next level, which is fine. Some people aren't made for it. It's one of 32, right?
Yeah, and I don't know. The head coach was so stupid, and I've heard that a big part of why they did it is because Dak really wanted it. Why the hell and so that tells me we're not getting rid of him. I mean, I guess I already knew that with the contracts, but all hope down the toilet. It's just awful.
I mean, so this was very un-Jerry-like, right? We thought it'd be a big.
How was this? No, because it's a yes man that's going to do whatever he wants them to do. They're not going to stand up to him. They're not going to change things. No. I thought it's just like how last offseason he's like, we're going to go all in, and then we didn't even get a damn running back.
Yeah, I don't think anybody talks more like just false lies about how positive they want their team to make changes than Jerry Jones. It is insane, dude.
Our all in was bringing back Ezekiel Elliott.
Whoa, dude. We need to calm down a little bit. That's a little aggressive.
As soon as we found out that they were still trying to talk to McCarthy about possibly doing another extension, we should have known it was hopeless.
The
Like,
question is, would you have welcomed McCarthy back for one more year if this is where you knew they were going to go?
no, only because as terrible as I think the choices were, there is a little bit of hope because we haven't seen him do the job. We've already seen what McCarthy can do, and it wasn't getting anything done. So I don't think this guy's going to be any better, but because it hasn't happened yet, I can't for a fact say that he won't do better. But again, I heard a big part of this was that Dak was very comfortable with the way the coaching was going, and he really liked it. And he knew that if a new head coach came in, they were probably going to redo the entire staff, the whole way things went. So a big part of it was keeping Dak happy, which I'm sorry, I feel like you need to at least win a couple playoff games before we give a shit if you're happy or not.
Now, Jaguars also hired a coach, which that was an interesting little scenario that happened where he turned them down, announced that he was signing an extension with Tampa Bay. And next thing you know, he's doing a conference saying he's head coach of the Jaguars and getting memed on like Sirianni did on his press conference because of how he said Duval. So, yeah.
Also looked like a child wearing an oversized suit.
I mean, I would take that over our choice, so whatever.
I'm just saying.
If they want to grab some kid from the crowd and throw him in a suit and be like, "You're in charge, kiddo," he'd probably have a better chance of standing up to Jerry Jones than Brian.
Pawn shop and try to find a suit at last minute because he couldn't get one.
Yeah, clearly they were like, "Hey, make sure you wear a suit," and he's like, "What? What is that?"
Sean McVay never had us do that. Yeah, because that was Baker's coordinator that he followed from the Rams to the Bucks, and I don't think he's going to Jacksonville now, but we'll see. I mean, this is probably a good sign we'll say, for Trevor Lawrence. You feel like hopefully at least with the offensive mind, he can use the weapons they have. Starting to question maybe the cons.
At this point, I feel like the only reason you take a job with the Jaguars is because you want an excuse to go to London a couple times a year. You know,
you're just like, hey, we'll be there like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you're just like,
the
hey,
family.
Yeah, see Big Ben. I really want to ride the Millennium Eye. That Ferris wheel looks awesome. That's the only reason.
You have to deal with Florida men in Jacksonville, and it's not Orlando. So, but at least you're still close enough to Disney World that in the off season you can still go.
It's like the worst parts of Florida, though. I think the only thing worse than there is like Tallahassee.
Fair enough.
The closest thing you've got to you in Jacksonville is the Leonard Skinner graves. So that's cool.
I mean, it's something to do.
Oh, hold on. Fort Lauderdale and St. Augustine's not too far. So you can go to the Golf Hall of Fame. That's cool.
Hey, go to the Daytona 500. Do a day trip to the Daytona 500. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, they've got as much chance of winning the Super Bowl as the Daytona 500, to be honest. So whatever.
We'll see, David. Here's the best part, though, is that if you're in Jacksonville, you know you're not making it to the Super Bowl anyway, so you get to go to Disney World 3 weeks early. 4 weeks
early. You don't care. You get it. It's like, hey, my summer vacation starts a month before you guys. Go ahead, have fun.
I'll beat those lines.
Okay.
And if you're lucky, a hurricane will come by and disrupt things, so you don't even have to train for like a week or two during the season.
All right, guys, break out your PBRs. The PBR break.
Yeah.
Are you saying we're gonna have a PBR commercial during the Super Bowl, Grayson?
Maybe. But no, some of the other movies that are coming out that'll be probably dropping trailers is since we're on the subject, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Lilo and Stitch more than likely is going to have one too. Obviously, Winter Soldier is going to have its final push to get as many butts in seats as they can.
You mean Brave New World?
Whatever. Winter Soldier 2. It's the same thing.
Yeah, Winter Soldier is literally one of the characters not in the movie.
Well, excuse me.
Wait. Maybe he meant the Thunderbolts. Winter Soldier is.
You know what? Actually, I don't think we're going to get a new Thunderbolts trailer.
You don't think so?
Probably not.
No, because I don't think they want it because it's too close. It's this year. I don't think they want to do anything to take away from Captain America.
I think David's right.
They're gonna say here's the far future stuff with Fantastic Four, like months and months, and then they're gonna be like, and here's what's happening in 2 weeks. You know.
Oh, I guess it'll be 1 week. May? Well, no, who knew?
When is Thunderbolts?
I think it's May.
Yeah.
Is Fantastic Four also this year, or is that next year?
No, Fantastic Four is July.
Wow. Yeah. So I guess we're getting back to another Marvel summer, hopefully. Fingers crossed, good. No, actually, speaking of Super Bowl, though, what I'm really excited about, I hope this isn't what it is, but if it is, I hope it's good. Meg Ryan put out a teaser on her, I think her Twitter, her X or whatever, that was her and Billy Crystal together saying that, what you've wanted, like, we're working on something really special. Stay tuned. I think it's going to be a When Harry Met Sally Super Bowl commercial. I wish it would be like a sequel exploring their relationship now would be fantastic. Like, I'd love that. But I have a feeling it's just going to be a Super Bowl commercial. But hopefully it's really good. Kind of like when they did the Ferris Bueller one with the hotels or whatever with Matthew Broderick and all. Like, I'm sure they'll do something funny and it'll have, some good nostalgia value in there.
See, I'm thinking it's going to be like one of those Walmart commercials because you've seen like the Office Space redos and everything like that on those Walmart commercials. It will probably be something like that where it's like it'll be super corny and doing the same thing.
See, I think it'll have something to do. It'll probably be like Doritos or some shit, and somebody's gonna basically she's gonna like orgasm eating them, and the lady will be like, "I want what she's having," and it'll be off of that because that's always what they do off the most But again, I would love if it's an actual substantial project, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a commercial.
Speaking of commercials, who do you think has the most? Just like one brand.
I thought you had a sponsor there for a second.
Today we're sponsored by.
Have you guys ever had to write something, but it doesn't stay forever?
Try the Forever Pen.
Are you avoiding the Super Bowl and want to listen to a book? Audible.
And right now, Amazon Prime members can get one book a month free. There's never been a better time to use Audible.
See, now I'm going to have to answer the question. Are you guys sponsored? I'll be like, no.
Maybe.
I mean, but if you want to.
We lost our McDonald's sponsorship due to too much sexuality, so.
I know.
Chick-fil-A out the window, too.
We also lost McDonald's.
It was as soon as Nolan came on. They were like, this just got too sexy. We were already at the cap, and then he came in. These guys are too hot for us.
Also, maybe when one of their mascots got categorized as a cryptid, that might have lost our sponsorship.
No, they liked that.
Oh, that got us a sponsorship there.
Yeah. It's the Hamburglar, right? Not Grimace.
No, it's Grimace, and Hamburglar is actually related distantly to Van Helsing. So it's his job to hunt these things down.
Grimace killed his family, and now he's just on a path for revenge.
Yeah,
David, one of these.
But he's always really hungry.
Yeah, one of these movie studios is going to be listening, and they're going to be like, "Hey, we made that Pooh movie. Let's make a Grimace movie."
Honest, like
what movie?
A Grimace movie would be amazing, and he's using the Grimace shake to brainwash people across the country to become his unwitting minions.
It's just like a long form version of their those like YouTube shorts, like / TikTok.
When people would drink it and then just be
dead. Oh man.
So the villain being like it's advertised as Grimace, but it's just Ronald McDonald milking Grimace just to control everybody else to eat more McDonald's, making that just the horror movie as it should be.
Anyway, is like, we're never working with you now. No, but who do you think we see the most trailers from or commercials? Like sometimes there's like 2 or 3 from the same brand. No,
I swear to God,
Brendan said they pulled State Farm.
If I decide,
the insurance companies are going to be gone this year.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be in it.
No, they pulled the insurance ones.
Okay, because I was going to say, if I do watch a Super Bowl, if I have to see that goddamn Bundle Rooski commercial one more fucking time.
Bundle Rooski.
Yeah, it's bad enough seeing his ass on the sidelines of the Super Bowl again. If I had to watch the commercial too with the up close of his face and his fucking walrus mustache, I'm just gonna break the TV.
Yeah, I think State Farm's like, we don't want to pay out anyway, and we don't want people saying, hey, you paid millions of dollars for an ad, so we're going to quietly pull back from this.
Oh, no, instead of a commercial, they're just going to have the guy who plays the new Jake from State Farm. He's just going to be sitting on the sidelines during the game, just like on the Chiefs bench.
He was
Never-
at one of the
nobody's-
games recently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to mention him, so it's not taking away, but he's going to be there, and it'll raise enough questions in media being like, look who's there, that they're going to get more exposure than they would with a commercial anyways, and they don't have to spend a dime.
Diabolical plots afoot.
He just comes out
that's-
during the
that's
halftime
smart.
show.
He just pulls a South Park and just goes, "We're sorry." Walks off stage.
We're sorry.
Your home's burned down, and we
I
didn't
want
pay
a
out.
goddamn apology from the NFL that this is the Super Bowl that we're having to have.
So you're watching the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles again. We're sorry.
David, are you excited at all for the halftime show?
No.
Yeah.
That's like asking me, am I excited to take a breather in the middle of taking a shit? Like, I don't
Hey,
care.
if you ate Taco Bell, maybe. but-
It's bad all the way around. I don't want it to happen. I told you, it's the darkest timeline, man. This was awful. This is just like when they tried to say today that the drones in New Jersey and try to explain what those were. It's just a bunch of lies.
I mean, I told people that's what they were, but I have reasoning behind that. But
I know you're a shill. We get it.
I mean,
Tell us again why the Bills fumbled the ball and they were just okay.
What's that? Keegan's a Fed. I'm kind of not surprised by that.
Not at all.
But yeah, what I can't tell what I hated more: either seeing the Chiefs actually make it, or all just the stupid memes and making Patrick Mahomes into Thanos because now they have been there 6 times. A little stupid. I absolutely hate seeing that.
5 times.
Hey, we know who's not upset right now, and that's Chris Collinsworth. He is having the time of his
Absolutely.
life. He's
He's
like,
got
I knew he'd be
Mahomes
there.
broad shoulders. He can pass just like a Greek god. He looks like Zeus throwing thunderbolts out there on the field. I get to watch him for 4 straight hours nonstop. Chris Collinsworth is a happy man. Spend time with my family? Absolutely not. I want to watch Patrick Mahomes.
So Grayson, speaking of Patrick Mahomes, you think he's winning, or are you picking the Eagles? And who's score MVP?
I'll give you both. I'll give you the one that I want. I really want the Eagles to win. I would love to see them just beat the Chiefs by. It's probably going to be 3 points, so I'd say probably 34-31. Saquon Barkley MVP. Realistically, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is going to be MVP. And probably going to be 45-32. Realistically.
I think you're the first one to say Chiefs.
The last Super Bowl, Travis Kelce had the microphone and he said, "You have to fight for your right to party." Is he mentally challenged? What? Why? Like, why do we allow this to happen?
I think
He wants to be the new Gronk. I think
Why
is
did
what's
somebody
going on.
try to shoot Trump when these guys are still out there walking around?
David, you
is-
can't get us canceled.
This is so toxic to America that this is our culture, that these are the guys our kids are going to be like, yeah, we love him. Like, oh my God.
We literally hit the Gwitty for Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my God.
My plan is this. We need to break Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift up. Because if Travis Kelce is heartbroken and can't get over it, they tank next season. Doesn't need to happen right now. It doesn't need to happen during offseason. It just needs to happen about game 6 of next year.
What if she broke up with him right before
I've
the
heard
Super
she's
Bowl?
pregnant.
If that happens,
Whoa, Bobby.
doesn't mean she's sticking
I've
around.
heard.
Hold on.
We're dropping T-bombs. I was not expecting.
Bobby, where did you hear this from?
That's the news that there's the news.
Brendan is shaking his head in agreement. He has heard this as well.
Bob, what is your source?
There's on the news. I guess one thing said that she's hiding something, that she was pregnant. She goes, is she pregnant by Travis Kelce? By Kelce?
What if they found out she was pregnant by Patrick Mahomes?
Just break up.
Yeah.
Now, I will say if the Chiefs win, it might be the last game we see of Travis Kelce. Like I could see him retiring if they win, because he has not had a good year, and I think he's starting to focus, much like his brother, on life after football.
Yep.
All right. So, according to Reuters, there is no evidence of. Well, that's December 6th. Never mind. Yeah, the most latest thing that I see is the Times of India. So I'm not going to say that's the most credible, but
I mean, our viewership has spiked now. We have the most viewers now as we discuss this right now.
Yeah,
That's
because
right,
it's
Taylor Swift
Swifties
is
coming on
having
to
babies,
cancel you, Keegan.
you heard it here first.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, Times of India. Um,
But everywhere else is saying no. There's people are betting on it. They're putting buying bids in whether or not Taylor Swift's pregnant right now. But according to Reddit, anyway. No,
All
that's
right,
4 months ago. Never mind.
Athlon Sports, December 20th. Taylor Swift offers proof about pregnancy rumor.
Is the proof?
Let's see what it says.
Like, we already got to deal with Jason Kelce and his family enough. I do not want to hear about these people anymore.
I mean, it's always interesting. Like, when
Okay, this is the proof. Apparently, at her 35th birthday party, first of all, there was some slightly blurry photos that they say might be hiding an engagement ring. But more importantly than that, she was clearly drinking alcoholic beverages, so they do not think that she's pregnant.
Now, do you think if they're not engaged, he proposes after the Super Bowl if they win?
I have to deal with a Chiefs win and hearing about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, you might not see me for a couple of weeks. I might need to be on a mental health break there for a little bit, but
Could happen.
it could. Yeah, yeah, I can see it happening. Just especially if they do the 3-paid. You're like, Taylor, come out here. I have something very important to say. You've been such a great person in my life. You've helped me turn it around. You make me the happiest man in Kansas City.
Yep.
I think Bobby's going to buy a Chiefs jersey. I think that's what's going to happen. Are you going to buy an Eagles jersey, Bobby, to root against the Chiefs?
Nope. Still a Bronco fan through and through.
Well, I'm just saying you're helping the Broncos defeat the Chiefs.
Yeah, you got to add the juju, Bob.
So, David, who do you have winning the Super Bowl, the score, and the MVP?
I just know that America is losing. No matter what happens on that field, we as a country, as a people, as a united front, have lost. As long as we have that out of the way,
You're just any Dallas Cowboys fan that hasn't done anything since '95.
I'm willing to say,
I mean, he's entitled.
This is the chance. If the Eagles want to redeem themselves for all the terrible things they've put into the world, this would be a good start. We can overlook a couple of the assaults. We'll look over the fan calling the woman the C word. We will scrub some of those bad things out of their ledger if they can do this. It's kind of like what was it? It's like Suicide Squad, where they can do these things to kind of earn back some goodwill. That is what the Eagles need to be. They need to be laser focused, and they can win back a little goodwill, take all that nasty Philliness and put it on the field. I don't care. Dirty hits, plenty of penalties. Like, sure, take the penalty, but if you break Mahomes' leg in the first quarter, it's worth it. Take that penalty. Whatever.
He's got a point.
I don't mind. But I do think Philly will pull it off. I think that as much as I hate them, I think that they will be good for once in their life. This is kind of like watching like a heel turn in wrestling. Okay. That it's just two evil forces, that there has to be a lesser evil that everybody gets behind. And it's got to be the Eagles this time. I think Saquon, I do think, is a safe bet for MVP because if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, again, not getting to get that record, meaningless. It means absolutely only winning the Super Bowl can make up for him not getting that record in that last game. That is the only thing that can even come close to being like, it was worth it. Because otherwise, you're just the first loser, you know? So I feel disgusting and have to go brush my teeth after saying this, but the Eagles will win. Give me 35-28.
All right. So for my pick, I would love to see it be the Eagles. I would love to see Barkley get the MVP, run for like 200 yards, just like have a stellar game. But my gut tells me it's going to be Kansas City, and I don't want to say that. But
Then
I feel
don't.
like that's
Then
what's.
don't say it.
But I feel like that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Kansas City. It might go to double overtime. They might bring out 4 kickers to start kicking. Like
I was going to say you can't trust the Eagles kicker, so if they lose this game, it's going to be by a kick.
See, if anything, though, I think the kicking situation, I think that's going to actually make the Eagles go for it more on fourth in maybe a couple of situations that other teams wouldn't. And I think this will be a game where that pays off because, guys, like I get their record and everything, but Kansas City is not a great team. A lot of the games they won this season are literally from like the luckiest calls or plays or last minute things. I just talent for talent, I don't understand how they got there. Because literally every team they went against pretty much was a better team than them leading up to this point.
See, David, I agree wholeheartedly. The only thing is they have the refs. No matter what they want to say, no matter what they want to do, the refs are in their pocket.
No, they're basically like Kansas City is like Batman, where it doesn't matter how realistically he should have lost, and he's really not all that special. He has the power of plot that they write it for him to win.
I agree.
And this needs to be this. They need to kill the parents and take Bruce Wayne down. Okay, this is gonna happen.
Didn't Teen Titans do that?
They did.
I don't care who does it. Just Kansas City needs to lose. And then once they do, Keegan has to get a tattoo that says Saquon these nuts.
That's what Bobby's gonna get. No, just my gut tells me it's gonna be the Chiefs. It's gonna be Mahomes. It's gonna come down to the Eagles either missing something as like a field goal or dropping the ball like Mark Andrews or something weird. And it's going to be like last second. The Chiefs will win. Travis Kelce is going to ride off into the sunset. This is his final game. And yeah.
You know what? As much as I hate the Chiefs and don't want them to win this, if winning it means we never have to look at Travis Kelce's fucking face again, maybe worth it. Maybe.
Well,
but realistically, they're not going to let it happen because then Taylor Swift won't have a reason to come to games.
They're like, Travis, if you want to stop playing football, that's fine. But like, coach for somebody, make sure she still shows up, you know?
Yeah, no, honestly, let's say that he does retire and he's done. I think we get a breakup announcement within the next month.
If there's a God in heaven, that will be the reality.
Yeah. Well, no. If God has not forsaken us, the Eagles will win.
Fair point.
If he has not given dominion of the earth completely to Satan, then yet, if there is goodness.
'Tis a sign, my lord. It is a sign.
So yeah, there's our picks. Obviously, Super Bowl is still 2 weeks away. This weekend is going to be the Pro Bowl, which
nobody cares about.
Yeah, and I'm still more of a fan of when the Pro Bowl came after.
The Pro Bowl is a waste of goddamn time.
Well, especially now they made it like touch football and
it's like, flag football now.
Oh, flag football. And like the games aren't even as good as they used to be, and it's just like
Chris Berman to commentate on the Pro Bowl, I'll watch it again because he hates it just as much as everybody else does, and he just says how much of a waste of time it is on the air. which was fantastic.
Bobby, who's winning the Royal Rumble this weekend?
My God,
John Cena?
I've heard rumors that Lesnar's returning.
John Cena's not going to win it, so he can
Lesnar
go
might come back and
chamber.
start throwing people over the top. That's what's going to happen, I bet you.
I think John Cena will win it because you know why?
So he can retire.
Yeah, have the record most championships.
Then Lesnar comes back. Cena sets in the ring, and Brock Lesnar comes out and throws him over the top.
Yeah, so Royal Rumbles this weekend. Pro Bowl. What other things are going on? I mean, got like hockey and stuff, basketball.
Let's find out.
And I know UFL starts up pretty soon, like late February, early March, right?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the UFL?
I mean, might as well.
USFLF, yeah.
I'm gonna go play mini golf. Do you guys want to commentate on that? Because that's about as big as the UFL.
I mean,
start the live stream, David. I'll be there.
I mean, clearly,
just start the live stream, and then we'll just commentate from here, watching you play it.
Honestly, that's more entertaining than the UFL.
He pulls up to a par 3. Let's see if he's got what it takes.
All right, so it looks like he is approaching the windmill. This has given him a lot of trouble in the past. We know that if you go too fast, there he go. And it did hit the spinning blade. That's gonna really hurt him in the end.
David, for what it's worth, I mean, the talk about mini golf has spiked the viewers once again. Not Travis Kelce numbers or Taylor Swift numbers, but
that's why we need to talk about Taylor Swift playing mini golf.
This week on Taylor Swift Plays Mini Golf.
This week on Taylor Swift Baby Watch.
We just got more viewers as soon as you said that.
I heard from a good source, my friend Bob. He says she's pregnant. So he's not usually wrong.
Bobby, speaking of Bobby, what are you doing this weekend? Where are you going to watch Pro Bowl, Royal Rumble, whatever?
Royal Rumble will be in my house. I was going to watch it. Hey, what are you doing Friday night? Are you doing the burger thing on Friday night, or?
No, we did one last weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, spoilers for everyone watching. There will be a new burger one coming up. So you heard it here first. Scotty, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, let's see. Actually, I've been gone the last 3 weekends for various different things, which is why I haven't been on here the last 3 weeks. So I think this is going to be a weekend to actually just sit at home, relax, work on collecting my, building up my drinks and snacks for the Super Bowl the following week. Yep. And that's kind of going to be my plan, at least for right now. Catching up.
Brendan, what about you? Any big plans for the weekend?
I might go to Wichita. We'll see. Might go see I think it's AHL game. We have the Wichita Thunder, who is a minor league of the San Jose Sharks, and the new minor league for the Golden Knights are in town, I think, this week, and so we might go see that. Otherwise, it's just going to be building my nightstands.
Grayson, what about you? Any movie reviews, people?
Gonna go actually see Companion this weekend because that looks trippy as hell. So I'm hoping that's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, expect to see something out about that later on this weekend.
Dave, what about you? Anything fun going on this weekend? Any abnormal voyages people should be on the lookout for?
I'm gonna try to binge drink this weekend to forget about the Super Bowl.
I mean, you can take a page right out of Always Sunny in Philadelphia's book and just get Riot Punch, and that should pretty much do it.
I mean, there is the Zigzags, which has themed drinks based off Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So,
yep.
But yeah, go check out David's channel, Abnormal Voyages. Help him out this weekend. Give him some support. He has some great videos. David, next month you said so February. This next month you're starting your new episodes, right?
Correct. New stuff will be coming out. Let me see the exact date. I want to say, I think it's next Wednesday. So it's either going to be February 5th or Saturday, February 8th. So one of those two, probably the 5th, though. We'll have some new stuff coming at you.
There you go. Go watch Abnormal Voyages. Always good stuff there. Grayson will have some movie reviews. Go watch that. If you're in Wichita, you happen to see Brendan, tell him you saw him on this episode. That'd be crazy. But go do it. If you see Bobby, tell him it's John Cena that's going to win the Royal Rumble. All right. Well, for everyone watching, let us know in the comments below who is winning the Super Bowl, the score, the MVP. Tell us in those comments below. And don't forget to hit the like. Give us a subscribe for more sports chat to the left. More here from Culz to the right. I believe it's Stay Out of the Basement book review came out today, so click that. And yeah, we'll be back this week. We'll have a Goosebumps episode coming out Thursday. Been enjoying those ones. And then next Monday, we'll have a book club, live book club. So if you guys want to watch us talk books, come join us for that. But we will see you guys next week for sports. We'll be talking something. Maybe I don't know, mini golf.